Welcome to The Blissful Life, a podcast where we awaken the wisdom of self and explore the lessons, the rituals, and the pathways to inner bliss. I'm your host, Regina Lawless, former corporate executive turned author and spiritual teacher. And I'm on a mission, y'all, to help people connect to and express their divine self so they can make their unique impact on the world. If you've been feeling like there is more to life than the hustle and grind, then you found your tribe. It's time to breathe and relax into the blissful life.
Welcome back to The Blissful Life. I am so excited for this episode. I think y'all are in for a treat. Today's guest is LaToya Zavala, who's been transforming lives for 20 years. She was formerly a U.S. Navy chaplain. Thank you. We want to, of course, always thank our veterans for their service. She is now serving the global community. She's an energy mastery coach and Vedic astrologer. She's the real deal. We're going to talk about that today. I had a Vedic reading for her, so I'm so excited to share that piece with you all. But as an energy mastery coach and a Vedic astrologer, she helps conscientious women leaders clear their real blocks and know themselves on a mastery level so that they can create their freedom and power. So now y'all know why I had to have this fabulous, this fabulous woman on this show. Welcome, LaToya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so honored, first of all, just having known you, having known your chart, right in there. And just knowing like not only the power that you're sitting in now, but all of the infinite potentiality. I'm just so really grateful. And being one who truly understands sacred spaces and spaces that you hold for your audience. It really is an honor for me to be invited in. So I am so appreciative. Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all. Oh, for my military folk, let me just hooah and hurrah.
Yeah.
I see the
Hooah.
and hooah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have been on some bases where we have served some Army debts. So I love my hooah. I love y'all.
I was going to say, as a former Army reservist, we used to say hooah.
Yeah. No, I love you. I love the hooahs. Don't get me wrong. I had some beautiful hooahs in my life. So
I love
yes,
it.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. See, I'm already loving every second. The energy is real. And what's funny for the benefit of the audience, we met on LinkedIn. Like, as crazy as LinkedIn is now, no shade, but it's gotten very, very saturated with sales and bots. You can still find real connections in these LinkedIn streets. So we ended up meeting through a series of direct messages and decided to get on a call just to like talk voice to voice. And immediately I was like, this woman is amazing. Like,
Aww.
you're just, I have such, just in the last year, just such beautiful women. It seems like dropped out of the sky into my orbit. And you're one of those that I'm just so impressed by and just lucky to know.
So I'm here with you. Right. And I'm really grateful too, because like you said, like LinkedIn is just, it's like this microcosm of what the world could be and what all is being infiltrated. And yet with intention and willingness and openness, right? And just, I think holding our ground. It's like, okay, I know all that's out there, but I'm holding the ground, right? I'm holding the ground. I'm holding the intention that we can create some realness. We can create some juiciness here. And I'm just so grateful as we're holding the intention that we are attracting, we're attracting and magnetizing the alignment, the likeness. And it's so, so, so very important. I think, I mean, I could go on and on, but I think it's so important for this time and this space and us moving in. When I say us, I mean just women in general, moving in our power, moving in our purpose, moving in, just coming into the fullness of who we are. and what we bring to the world. I think it's so important, these really intentional conversations. And it actually grieves me sometimes when, you're trying, you open up and they're like, "Oh, I don't do DMs," because they automatically assume
Yeah, that it's
that
a
there's
sales
not gonna be
pitch.
something. You know what
Mm,
I mean? And I'm like, as opposed to just being open to what could happen. Yeah,
mhm.
I've met some really beautiful, deep souls, including yourself, that are just
Thank
really
you.
out here to do some great things, and just your laughter just gives me so much joy. So
Aw.
I'm grateful. To your point, I'm grateful. It's goodness.
Ah,
It's goodness.
you said one of my favorite words now, magnetize.
Mm.
And forgive me, y'all, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might think I'm crying. I could be crying at how delicious this conversation is, but it's probably glitter in my eye. Sorry. Like for but, but back to the conversation, magnetize. There's something about that word that feels so powerful. And it instantly made me think of kind of the conversation we're about to go into is a perfect segue into your work as an
Mm,
energy mastery coach. Because I think to
mm.
really master your energy, of course, want you to tell us how you think about this. It would seem to me part of mastering your energy is being magnetic or learning how to magnetize. But I'm curious, LaToya, to get your definition of how do you describe energy mastery and why is that so important, especially for women leaders right now?
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful question and so, so very important and vital. And I'm gonna simplify it. I'm gonna super simplify a nutshell, right? We are discovering more and more, okay, so in the logical mind, in the logical matrix, in the logical world right now, we're discovering more and more and more who we actually are, right?
Mhm.
The scientific, physics, biophysical, quantum world, we're discovering more and more. Oh, okay. We are not just globs of material. We're actually a community of vibrating cells, right?
Mm.
And that we are actually vibrating and that there is actually energy vibrating from us continually all the time. We're
Mm.
also discovering that certain body parts are vibrating at certain frequencies. I was like freaked out. 'Cause I'm always freaked out when somebody talk about the eyeball, first of all. So
Right.
blessings to all the eye doctors because that's not me, right? But when I saw the video of they were talking about the eyeball and it vibrates at its own specific frequency. I forget what it is. I want to say it's 19 hertz, but every part of us is vibrating. And if we're
Mm.
vibrating, we're emanating energy. The core,
Mhm.
the essence of what we are. I like that. Not who we are, but what we
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
is in fact energy. Even if
Yes.
you take it in its most detached scientific form, even if you take it as that, we are in fact pure energy. We're just
Mhm.
vibrating energy. So, my question to the people is why wouldn't you want to learn more about what you are? Why
Mm.
wouldn't you want to learn more about being able to maneuver and work with, right? And maximize what you are. It's like
Mm.
if you're a runner, you're learning the best way to run, the best shoes to
Yes.
wear, the best way your feet are forming, right? Like you're learning the best ways to run because you're a runner. So, if you are energy, which you are, why not learn the best ways to maximize the energy that you are? So, this is what I mean by
Mhm.
energy mastery. It's literally learning to master what you are, which is energy. And so that opens the door for us to go into what energy can do, what energy
Mhm.
in fact does. We have been doing what energy does unconsciously and subconsciously for millennia because we were separated from the fact that we are energy. So you've been
Ooh.
doing the things. You've been
Right.
magnetizing. You've been attracting. You've been manifesting, but we called those things miracles. We called those things
Ooh.
circumstances, happenstances, right? Like lucky. We've called those things
Uh-huh.
many things, but the truth is you at some point got in contact with what you are and the magnitude, the power of how it actually interacts with our environment. That
Uh,
is the fact. And so now we get to consciously work with that. How do we energetically work with our environment? When I yawn and you're in my environment, you yawn too.
yeah.
And we have for centuries said we don't know why. But guess what? Now we know we're energy. Now we know that
Yeah.
there's quantum. What happens here can happen instantly over there, right?
Yes.
Energy is transcending time and space and light, light speed rather. And so now we get to consciously be like, how do I do that? How do I do that
Mm,
consistently? How do I do that on command? How do I do that naturally? Because it is nature, right? How do I work with this magnificence that I am? That's
mm.
energy mastery. And I know I've talked a lot, but I
Oh.
want to ping on the word magnetism for a second because I know here's what happens. We get to understand a word and then we're like, "Ooh, this is juicy."
Yeah.
And then we use it a lot.
Yeah.
And then the collective comes in and says, "That's cliche, don't use it anymore." And
Right.
then the word is still carrying its own frequency, its own power, right?
Mhm.
Its own energy. It's emanating what it's meant to do, but we then mute it because we say,
Mm.
"Oh, it's cliche, it's overused, it's blah blah blah," right?
Yep.
My invitation is to allow the word magnetism to do what it's meant to do, right?
Mm.
To carry the frequency and the energy that it's meant to carry in our lives. And now I'm going to make it super simple.
Yeah.
I am. So, Regina, you as a vibrating community of cells,
Yes.
right?
Which I
You
love
as
that saying, by the way. Thank you for repeating, because I was going to repeat it for the people in the back if they didn't hear it. Vibrating community of cells. Yes, I am. Continue.
yes,
Mhm.
you as core essence, you were coded with this beautiful, full, life giving, mood elevating, environment shifting laugh. It's
Thank you.
coded in you. It's coded in you. I would even venture to say it's part of your abundance codes,
Thank you.
right? And so you don't have to think about or, do magnetism. If you're just being in your most natural self, and that laugh comes out, you are by essence magnetizing because those of us who are already soul coded to hear, to enjoy, to be lifted by, to be shifted by that laugh, that emanating energy touches us in a way that it's meant to, and we respond
Mm.
to the call. And so, it's your bat signal, right? It's part of your bat signal, right?
I
And so we
love
don't
that.
have to do magnetism. We don't have to learn in a way magnetism. What we get to learn is ourselves.
Ooh, okay. So, I wanted to give you the space for all of that brilliance to come out. Like, my whole spirit was like, "Let her cook." 'Cause she is cooking a gourmet multi-course meal. Let her cook. And so I appreciate that was one of the
Mm.
most beautiful, full, expressive, like, I felt every bit of every word. Such a
Mm.
masterclass in energy and magnetism.
Oh,
Yeah, because these words get used,
Thank you.
especially now. No, that I mean that so genuinely, and I am one that
Mm.
listens to a lot of spiritual, material. I am obsessed with spirituality,
Mm.
which you know from reading my chart, why where that comes from.
True.
Um but I hear a lot, and I think it's really easy for people to intellectualize these concepts, and then it becomes so abstract. But I think you did it in
Yeah.
such a way that I know people will feel it and hear it differently.
Mm.
And you said something around just being instead of having to learn magnetism or do it, just being, just learning yourself, and that has very much been my journey over the last 4
Mm.
years. And so I really appreciated that and would encourage any person, but particularly since you work with women leaders, I would co-sign everything you just said. But it made me think of when I was leading in corporate,
Yeah.
and how it took me so many years to take off, not only shed the things that were draining my energy, and the
Mhm.
reason they were draining my energy is because I was working outside of my natural essence or my
Mm.
natural brilliance or my natural
Mm.
genius, and that dulled my energy. And when I
Yeah.
finally came back to myself, started to uncover who I really was, what I do naturally, what I love to do, then I felt, and, as evidenced by the teams that worked for me later in my career, if you got them together with teams I managed earlier in my career,
Mm.
the
Well,
later teams, right? The early teams would be like, "What? Y'all had her as
right.
a manager? She was crazy." But the but the later me, where my full essence came out, and I wasn't trying so hard to be something that I wasn't. I just stopped
Mm.
trying hard to be anything but me. I love that, and I can't wait to continue this conversation, and I hope it gives other people permission to discover who they really are.
Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. And thank you for sharing that because it really speaks to so many complex layers
mhm,
of what we as women go through in trying to discover ourselves, right?
mm,
In an environment that just is overly, right, male dominant, overly male patriarchal. Yeah, there's so many layers. There's so many onion layers to peel off when you're
mhm.
like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is who I really am. Wait a minute. Oh, this is real. Wait a minute. Wait." You know? Yeah,
And I'm still
it's so
learning.
much.
There's so much, and what I love about your story and your background, LaToya, is that, like, you even though you're clearly this passionate, brilliant, wise soul who I see very much as a sage or a
Mm.
guide in this lifetime, um, y
Oh,
you're like, you didn't wake up like this, like, you're right? Like almost all of us, you had a little journey, and your road to this work was not linear. As I understand your story, you were a chaplain in the US Navy, which is incredible to me. So fascinating. What was it like being a chaplain, this religious leader in the US Navy? And how did you transition from that to the work you do today?
yeah, thank you for that question. So, first of all, I feel in my spirit like I need to if there's any chaplains listening to this, I'm just sending you love. It's particularly
Mhm.
females
Yeah.
and then particularly Black females, right? They
Mm.
literally used to call us, unicorns. I was on a base as big as Camp Pendleton. We're talking about thousands, right?
Ooh,
Tens of
wow.
thousands of personnel and still being one of 3 female chaplains on the entire base, and at times the only Black female chaplain on the base. So, we're really talking about a very, unique positioning and being. In the work itself, there's so much beauty, so much fulfillment, so much, joy, so much, um, just being able to walk alongside men and women who are so beautiful, who are so passionate, who are so
Yeah.
dedicated, who are so wonderful in their whole humanness, and being able to walk alongside them in such a unique environment. The process of becoming an active duty chaplain is so rigorous, it's so selective. So even just the honor to be able to call yourself an active duty chaplain is really it's really an honor. Let me say that.
Wow.
And yet, of course, it comes with um the other side. And the other side is number one, even being a part of a hierarchy, right? So um it, being the only woman, being the only black woman, being the only black person, period,
Ooh,
sometimes.
yes, I
Um
imagine.
yeah, it's challenging, and it is challenging um to hold your own, to hold your value, to hold your worth. The chaplaincy itself is always striving for proving its worth in an environment that really only values the material, right? The fight, right?
Yeah.
The resources. And so it's a very interesting and unique environment, and holding what we call absolute confidentiality with no clauses
Ooh.
holds its own yeah, it holds its own unique challenge and honor and challenge at the same time. Um, it it was a blessing, you know. I It was a blessing, and it was difficult, and it was challenging, and it was painful at times. Um, Absolutely nothing like it. Some of my absolute best experiences ever were in the Navy, and some of my absolute worst experiences that are now part of PTSD for me are
Oh.
also part of being in the Navy, right?
Mm,
So it's really truly that soul journey.
mm.
Um, Seeing the darkest of the dark, the depths of the depths when you hold that kind of confidentiality.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the nutshell.
Yeah.
That's the nutshell that I
Well,
could
that's
give.
a spectrum. You just as you were saying that last part, it really did make me think of the spectrum of being human, of being
Mhm,
able I really think that is
mhm.
our journey or our growth in this life is to be able to hold those 2 extremes, those 2 polarities that you described of the best of what we are and the worst of what we are, and knowing that, those 2 can coexist. Um, wow. Um, so deeply, just important, deeply meaningful experience it sounds like you had as a chaplain. When did you decide to I don't know if you naturally your active duty was up, or did you decide while you were still enlisted that you wanted to pivot to something else? Like, how did you get it's something so niche and so unique to this?
Yeah. Okay, so, um, I'm gonna really, like when I was 5, I knew that I wanted to help people heal. I knew that, and
Mm,
I knew that I was a spiritual person, I knew that. I was in the back of a church, and I looked at a pulpit, and I said, "I'm supposed to be there." And
ah,
I was told, "You're not supposed to be there because 'cause you're a woman, and women don't do that." Right?
yeah.
And so I spent a lot of my life searching for this quote unquote purpose when the truth is I already knew it. And most
Mm,
of our children do.
yes, I
So
agree
I
with
just want
that.
to drop that. Right? What happened was I had a series of abuses in my life,
Mm,
sexual assaults, domestic violence, and I went through a lot of that. And in that journey and through my healing journey, I knew that I needed to get back to and I wanted to be a part of the healing journey for other women. I went through a lot of conventional methods. I had a psychiatrist, I had a psychologist, I was on medication, I was hospitalized. Um, I had a pastoral
mm,
counselor. Like I mean, all the things.
Everything.
And listen, everything.
Uh-huh.
And I still felt like I fell through the cracks
Mm.
and needed to find my way through. And so this soul calling was like, there are other women like you who are falling through the cracks, who the conventional is not working for,
Ooh.
and you are part of the solution. And at the time, with my upbringing, that meant ministry for me. So
Yeah.
that is my background. And yeah, all of my degrees, my certificates, my postgraduate, it's all theology, pastoral ministries. But there was always something that knew, even in this, I still need to do it unconventionally. So so that's when I went into chaplaincy, because I was like, I need to hold space for all the people and
Right.
all the things. So that's what happened. I went into the hospital, did my postgraduate there. I really felt connected to other people who were experiencing suicidal behaviors and thoughts,
Mm.
and also who went through domestic violence, right? So of course, I'm
Yeah.
the wounded healer, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. Wow.
the military, my husband was active duty, and so the military was calling me because I knew that there was a concentrated population who are experiencing these things. Um, the fulfillment was happening in the military. And I also knew that eventually I would have to come out, because I really wanted to focus on women. And what happened was a series of events. Um, Trayvon Martin,
Mm.
right? George Floyd, the way that the military handled those events, and the transition that was happening in my soul. We adopted my middle child, and the
Oh.
extremity of trauma that he went through,
Mm.
and that my family went through once his trauma started coming forward more and more. All of this was happening at a time where I was like, I think I need to leave. Trump came into office, and there were just policies and the way that Black people and women were,
Mm.
how we have always been treated.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I can make a difference here, but I need to do the things. I need to curse. I need to call out. I need to do the things
Right.
that I can't do with these devices on me. I got to take the devices off, because I got to open my mouth, right? It was
Yeah.
like that. And so I was like, I got to go, because I can't be answering to no general. And like, I just got to go say the things. And so in that, I was coming out of the military, year-long process for officers, and um, I needed help. I need to help
Mm.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Processing the trauma
Mm.
and the physical pain. I was holding physical pain in my body, and from the
Mm.
trauma,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yes.
And I was doing, listen, acupuncture, massage, like
Ooh.
needle gun massage, like chiropractor. I mean, I was all over. Everybody was, oh, here she come. I was doing the things, girl. I was doing the things.
Yes.
So when I scheduled my appointment with the massage therapist that was close to where I live, she said to me, "Do you want more massage or do you want more Reiki?" And I had no
Ain't
idea what
nobody.
Reiki was. And I didn't care.
You
I was like,
take that,
at
whatever
this
that
point,
is.
I was like, just do what I didn't had all the things. So at this point, just do what you do. Regina, when that woman worked the energy in my body,
Ooh.
things happened that I didn't believe in, that I preached against,
Ooh.
that I condemned people for, that I cleansed people's houses of. You understand me? That I was
Wow.
casting out. Like, these things were happening in me.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know if you can curse on here, but I was
Yeah.
like,
Yes. Mhm.
holy shit, what is this? And I went home. I couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, because how do you explain that to to people?
Like, chaps? What's going I couldn't explain,
Mm,
but it was healing.
mm, I bet it
It was
was.
doing the thing.
Mm,
So much so that when they told me my son had a 6 to 8 month wait for his appointment with a therapist,
mm,
my
wild
6-year-old, I said, that's not gonna work."
at all.
So I
Mm.
told my husband, I said, "I'm taking him to Reiki." But my husband was like, "Okay." And he was like,
Sure.
"Alright." I took him and he had a vision. He went into sleep and had a vision of
Mm,
himself in the future. This 6-year-old that I had no idea what to explain to him what was happening, but he felt it
yeah.
in his body and it was healing for him.
Mm,
And
mm,
that began the journey. I was like, "I gotta find out what this is." And
yeah.
that began the journey, Regina. I was like, "I gotta find out this energy stuff. I gotta work it." And I got to the point, Regina, I got to the point where I told my Reiki practitioner, I was like, "Okay, so we need a like I need to be me and my son need to be
We just
like
your two
every
main
other week.
clients,
Like
okay?
we
It's
need
like
to, yeah, you need to clear your schedule so that we can." And then she said to me, "I think you just need to be attuned." And I
yeah.
was like, "Okay." And that's I, even in that, Regina, even in that, where she was attuning me, she's ringing the Tibetan bells, and I'm
Oh,
like,
which one? Beautiful. I have a little
"Okay."
bell here. It's beautiful.
I was like, "Okay, I rebuke in the name of Jesus anything that is not, you know." I was scared. I
Oh,
was like,
girl,
"What's
we
going
love
on
to
here?"
rebuke. That's the first thing that come in. We love to rebuke things as
Re-
a
rebuking
as a
the same things that was healing me. Okay. The depth of the foolery. I'm just gonna say that. So
Oh my gosh.
that was the beginning of the end. And I could not be who I was anymore. As painful as it was, and it was,
Mm.
because there were Marines and sailors that I had baptized that were under my care, that were,
Mhm.
I had praise teams. I had all these
Oh,
things, but
wow.
I could not deny. Oh, and this is really good. I because because there's so many people that I deal with and so many people that you deal with who are taught to deny their own experience.
Yes.
And I refused to do it. Regina, I
Mm.
refused to deny my experience because
Ooh.
the journey, right? Trayvon Martin and, and George Floyd and Vanessa and, you know, and Black
Mm.
women and medical facilities and
To
the echoing throughout
mm.
millennia of teaching you to deny your own experience. You saw that dream?
Mm.
No, you didn't. You had a
No.
vision? No, you didn't. You
Yeah.
saw No, you didn't. You
Right.
heard from the spirit yourself? No, you didn't.
Nope.
Right? You
Mm-mm.
you felt the vibration in your body? No, you didn't. Right?
Mm.
You felt the pain? No, you
Mm-mm-mm.
didn't. No, you didn't. Continually teaching you to deny your experience, your emotion, which is the other
Mhm.
side of the coin. It is the divine feminine. It is what
Yes.
it is. That's why we were coded and created with it.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I could go on and on and on.
No,
But
this is so, so powerful. And I want to go deeper in a second into
mm,
this spiritual evolution of honoring the unseen, the thing that we're taught not to believe in. But I wanted to just reflect on your story is so powerful because it is, although we haven't all been a chaplain in the military, I think as women, especially if you've worked in any kind of professional environment, we do know what it's like to be othered. We do know
mhm,
what it's like to be the only. We do know, just even in society living through all this trauma of being denied, like the feminine part of society is very much still looked at that, oh, the intuition, to your point, all of the things that are felt that are heart centered are just ways of knowing, like
Yeah.
how our ancestors used to know it was gonna rain. They could feel it in their bones,
Yes.
like the thing,
Yeah, in
right?
their
All the
bones.
it just things that we
The
knew,
superstition.
the superstitions, how we deny, we denigrate that part of us. And as
Mhm,
women, it's even more painful and traumatic because that is our archetype. That is what we're here to be. And I think that's also why this world is so crazy and out of balance because we've dishonored, denied, um that feminine part of us. But I just wanted to recognize that your story is so powerful because it is relatable in so many ways. And even this piece, I think so many of us grow up in a faith tradition, whatever that faith may be. I would venture to say majority of us, or many of us, let's say,
many.
grow
Mhm,
up with some sort of faith tradition that we were born into. And I related to what you said because I grew up Christian Baptist, and at some point I outgrew that container. At some point, and for me, the specific point was when my husband died,
mm,
and everything that I had been taught and told just didn't make sense anymore. And
mhm,
it began to be counter to what I was actually experiencing, including starting to get downloads from spirit, which was like, to your point with the Reiki, like, wait, what? I can't explain this, but I
yeah.
know in every cell of my body this is real. This is real and it's healing and it's right.
And not only is it real, and it's healing, and it's right, and it's happening, but truth be told, it was most likely happening the whole time.
Mhm. Mhm. Ah, yes, but you talk yourself, you, society, your people around
The
you.
culture, the religion,
Yeah.
society, yeah, you we told you,
I
either it's not true or it's demonic.
yeah, oh, girl. That yes. Yes.
Yes, or it's and I'm gonna simmer it down, right? Or it's not enough. In some way, shape, or form, it's
Mhm.
not enough. Okay, you might be feeling that, but come on, get this schedule together, right? Like you might be feeling that, but
Right.
come on, put this strategy, these tools together, right? Like you might be feeling
Mhm.
that, but that's not gonna work in this here world.
Yes, where's the
So
data? Where's the proof point? Where's
boom.
the yeah, everything has to do with this, you said the material world, and we are so obsessed with the mind and intellectualizing and the proof. Spirit is proof. Spirit is
Uh,
proof.
Spirit is proof. And what we have been taught to deny is in fact the substance of the proof,
Mm, mm, mm. Wow.
right?
Continue. No, please.
I was gonna say, like, there's an example. Women can't lead, be president or whatever it is because they lead with the heart on the sleeve. When in fact, from ancient cultures over and over and over again, it's always ever been talked about the heart
Yes.
center,
Yes.
right? Never the mind.
Mm,
So as to what you were saying, right, that we came into the Western world, this huge imbalance and denial of self, and I am in complete agreement with you that what we're experiencing right now is in fact the result of this imbalance.
mm. Yeah.
It's the result of this imbalance. Um, just imagine we are millions and millions and millions of women around the world, and how many of those millions have been taught and indoctrinated and suppressed
Mm,
that their divine feminine or their femininity or this part of ourselves is demonic, is not trustworthy, is not enough, is not even real.
mm,
And so all these gifts, all this power, all this magnetism
Mm,
is suppressed around the world.
yes.
So now
And
imagine the
every
kind of imbalance that that creates, to your point.
mm, yeah, it's heartbreaking and at the same time, it gives me hope because of conversations like this that we're having, because I think that those of us who are waking up to our power are meant to be the sparks, right? Like, you and
Yes.
I get to spark other women to like, "Wait a minute. How am I using my energy? Where am I denying my power? Where am I giving away my inheritance,
Mm,
which are all the
mhm.
beautiful gifts of intuition and creativity and passion and love and nurturing, receiving all of the divine feminine gifts that we have that men have as well.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
divine feminine is an energy, not necessarily a gender. But when I have communicated with my guides about this, they've said that women are meant to hold that frequency. Women are meant to anchor that, just as men are the manifestation of the divine masculine in
Right,
form.
right.
Women are the manifestation of the divine feminine. But when you have men who are tipped over into the toxic masculine,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then women, we are denying and denied the divine feminine. We're over in the masculine and sometimes in the
Right.
toxic, right? Like we all are in the toxic masculine bucket. Like every
Right.
the whole cart is tipped over.
Oh,
So,
right.
and we wonder why like people are running amok, and we're not stopping to really connect with one another and feel and intuit and just breathe and receive. We're always obsessed, myself included, before I had this reset of my own
Mhm,
consciousness.
mhm.
I was so obsessed with doing. I was
Yeah.
so obsessed with doing and striving and perfecting and accumulating and checking the box, all the things that were external to me, and couldn't sit with
Yeah.
myself for 60 seconds.
Mm,
Was
mm.
uncomfortable to be still for even a minute, and now I can spend a whole day just doing nothing but just being in nature or reading or being with myself or meditating or whatever the thing. So I say all that to just hopefully get those listening to think about, there's so much opportunity, kind of coming back around to as much as we are, I think, out of balance, there's so much
Mhm.
opportunity and calling for all of us to come into balance again.
Yeah, because the answer is us,
Mhm. Mhm. I
right?
firmly believe that, and if you don't mind me taking us into the next question, because it relates to the
Mhm.
what you just said, that the answer is us. You mentioned earlier that part of the method, or part of learning to use your full energy or mastering your energy, is knowing yourself. And so, being that the answer is us, I'd love to get into this conversation about Vedic astrology and how
Mhm.
that is a tool to know yourself
Yeah,
truly. So
truly.
can you tell us more about Vedic and how that fits into energy mastery, and anything you'd like to
Yeah.
say there about that beautiful system?
Yeah. So, mm, let me begin with this. It's my firm belief that we are infinite souls, and the infinite soul, the essence, the core essence of who we are, is in fact infinite potentiality. It is in fact infinite love. It is in fact infinite light. It is who we are. And in this world, we have been different cultures and societies have been given all these different tools to help us rediscover the beauty and the uniqueness of how we were designed. how we fit into the collective. What I love about Vedic astrology is that it's complex and yet simple because it is because it is going to show you the overarching soul path. It is going to show you the life path or life purpose that you get to do here on this earth that will support the overarching soul path. It is going to show you strengths, and it is going to show you some things that your soul came here to be challenged by, because
Mhm.
challenge is, in fact, a pathway to growth. It is. And so I've said before, if my flesh knew what my soul came down here to do, my flesh would have been like, "Oh, hell no, we not,
Clearly, I'm not signing up for this. Like,
we not."
what?
You know? If you had consulted, we wouldn't be here, right? But the infinite soul, in its infinite soul self, directly connected to source, is like, no, as a soul, the whole purpose is expansion. That is the whole
Mhm.
purpose.
That's it.
Expansion, experience, and growth. And so part of that is some of the ups and downs. Part of that is the two sides of the coin. So, for example, if someone's soul is here for what in Vedic astrology we call artha, which is wealth path, wealth consciousness, it doesn't mean you came down here to be rich, although you probably will be. But it means that you came down here to really explore, experience, understand, know, learn all sides of this multidimensional coin.
Mm.
Spiritually, energetically, multidimensionally, the the side mm, the yin and yang, if you will, of lack and wealth and abundance and riches and the consciousness and the need to do more, but the allowing and the attracting and the magnetism, right?
Mm.
Like
Mm.
knowing the soul, if you're here for artha and you lean into what your soul path is, when you have graduated this lifetime, like you know the things.
Yes.
you you know all the things. Um so this is why I love Vedic astrology. What is Vedic astrology? Vedic astrology is the form of astrology that is older, ancient,
Yes.
older than Western astrology, and it comes from the southernmost Indian culture.
Yes.
So it is the viewpoint from the Indian sky mostly. But why it is considered to be more accurate is because there is math involved.
Yes.
When you look at the night sky and there are stars that are fixed and they don't move, and this is the virtual background, if you will, and then it's divided up into 12 pieces. Those are what we call the houses. And the houses, they carry their own energy, just like a house you would walk into now. And the difference is in Vedic astrology, though it's thousands of years older than Western astrology, they widen the degrees of the houses. And I'm talking about geometric degrees. They
Mhm.
widen the degrees to accommodate for the wobble of the earth. And so, therefore, when the earth is wobbling, the degrees still hold space enough for the constellations to move through. And so at different points of the year and the seasons, it's more accurate and more stable than Western astrology considered to
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
It is ancient though, and so it's attached to culture and lore and
Yeah.
mythology, but which gives it more depth, right? More meaning, more understanding, more complexity, which I feel makes it just even the more relatable to life. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean?
I
So,
agree. I agree. Yeah.
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 And I had a client that was like, I had a Western astrological reading before, and they were talking about, what my best friend would be like and what my what horoscope my partner would be best in and all these things. And I'm like, those are fun. and they're tasty and that makes it palatable for sure. But that's not why I'm here. And I think that that's why I'm drawn more to the Vedic astrology, because I'm here to help you move in your purpose. I'm here to help you understand what your soul came here to expand in and why you may be having the challenges that you have. How can you align more with what your soul came here to do? And there are many ways to do that, but I choose Vedic astrology because the human mind, the mental body, loves to see the lines and the numbers and the black and white. It loves to be able to be like, oh, that's why, right? It loves to see that. And so, yeah, I love to be able to show people in black and white and geometric shapes. Remember who
There it
you are.
is. Yeah. Please finish that thought, and then there's so much I have to say to
And
Vedic.
that's why I call it an activation, because it's not a reading. It's an activation. When I show you and we go in energetically and we open that sacred space, your cellular memory lights up and it remembers, this is why I came here. This is who I am. And in the moment, depending on what you've been through, there might be like, but how? How can I get back there? How can I get into this wealth path? How can I get into this sun path? How can I, right? It's like, oh, but I feel so far, or I've been so, yeah. First, let's activate the soul and what it came here to do. Let all the lighting happen in your cells and in your body and in your tissues and your energy bodies. And then let's get to that divine feminine part of you where the intuition comes in, and then we connect to the different energy centers, the chakras within you. And I could go on and on, but this is what I love. That's why I love it so much, and it's so juicy. Okay. That probably was not optimal for YouTube, but
yes, it was, because it was real and amazing, and I second the passion and excitement. So I've always been a fan of astrology. But Western astrology was what I knew. And I was always the little kid that would look at the horoscopes in the back of the whatever magazine. That was like my favorite part. Sometimes I would just skip to the horoscope section of the newspaper or whatever it is. Because I just found it fascinating. And I was too young to understand. And I have followed and learned enough about Western astrology to kind of know like the sun sign versus the moon versus the rising sign, some of these things. But then in looking up more about Western astrology, I stumbled upon Vedic. And at first I was like, I kept hearing that it was more accurate. But looking at a Vedic chart compared, I mean, it's already challenging to look at a Western birth chart, but the Vedic chart, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, do I need a PhD in calculus? Like, what is So I initially put it down because I was like, I don't even know what this says. What is this even trying to say to me? But I started just to learn a little bit more. And then when I met you and found out you did Vedic astrology, I was like, okay, well, this is divinely ordered because I'm interested in Vedic right now, but I have no idea what it says. So you did a Vedic astrology reading. When I can tell y'all listening, I'm about to hopefully blow up your calendar, LaToya, with everybody wanting a Vedic reading. Because when I tell you, this changed my life in ways that it's hard to even express, because you're so accurate in saying that my soul lit up when you reflected to me. It was so accurate of what I had experienced, what I was feeling intuitively I'm supposed to be doing, and even explaining some things that are coming, or even ways about my being. Like we talked about Venus coming up in my chart so much. And I'm like, well, no wonder I've been just like a little love bug my whole life. I just love people and I just love beauty and I just love fashion and I just love I love harmony and so I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, my girl Venus is all up in through
All
my
up
chart."
in there.
And and then the part that was validating for my soul plan, and I'm happy to share this with the audience listening. I've been grappling for the last 6 months around this spiritual gift of being clairaudient or being able to hear spirit, being able to channel. And LaToya, you were the first one that actually got me to utter the words out loud that I'm a channel. The only other human that knew that was my partner who sees me meditating and writing and channeling. And he's like, all right, like, that's cool. Like he's been super supportive of it, but it's been scary because for all the reasons that we talked about earlier with the religious upbringing, and you're taught to deny hearing spirit or that's somehow demonic and all the things. But when you told me where that sits in my chart, as you may recall, I started crying because my
Mhm.
soul, just the validation of that and knowing that I'm not crazy. I mean, perhaps I am, but not for not for that reason.
Right. Not the way they, taught you
Right.
to. Yeah.
So yeah, I thank you again, and I wanted to tell my story as a client of
Mm.
yours just to help not only validate how talented you are as a Vedic astrologer, but how powerful that
Mm.
medium, that tool is for helping you find, not even find, we all know it. It's helping you remember. It's helping you
Yes.
remember what your soul's
Yes.
calling is and some of those other elements, some of the other experiences you came into this life to experience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's remember, and it's also accept and embrace, right?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Let me just say this, and I felt this about you too when we were in session, and I was like, mm-mm, girl, is say the thing and just come out and be, because I recognize that I am here for this time because you are here for this time.
Mm,
And it's time.
mm. It is
It's
time.
time.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that you all listening, when we say that, there are some, there might be a few that'll be like, time for what? Time for what? But but for the most part, you know exactly what we're talking about,
Yes.
and you feel it in your soul.
Mm.
It's time.
Yep. It's time to be seen. It is time to step into your mastery.
It's
Um,
time, yeah, to
mm,
be the fullness of who you are and who you
mhm.
came here to be, to speak the things you came here to speak.
Ooh.
To
Mm.
vibrate the energy that you came here to vibrate, to shift the atmosphere where you are, and to bring the light in the corner that you have been placed in.
Ooh. Mm.
This is that time.
This is
This
that
is
time.
that time.
And that makes
Yeah.
my spirit so happy. It makes me wanna cry when I think about, because
Mm.
ever since I was a little girl, I had this thing where I just looked at people, and no matter how down and out they may seem, like, when I look at people who are unhoused, and when I was a little girl, 'cause I grew up in a very poor neighborhood, and I would see people out there on drugs or,
Mm.
just struggling, and it would make me so sad, and not for the reasons that other people may pity them. I could remember from a very early age, and I still carry this now, I would be sad because I knew that there was something special that that person was meant to be doing, and for whatever
Mhm.
reason, they are off their path.
Yeah.
And now I can expand to know that for some people, that is part of their path to come through
Mhm.
that experience, but
Mhm.
there's still a spark that you can tell when people are not they're not a lot. That spark is dim. That spark has I don't wanna say died because I don't think it ever dies, but that spark is not fully lit. And
Yeah.
so I get excited when you say it's time, and as we transmit this to whoever is meant to hear this message, I wanna just echo LaToya, you
Mhm.
saying that it is time.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
One question I wanted to ask you because of the work you do with energy, and I think it relates to this being time for people. I think some people will have a knowing in their self, in their spirit, that it is time. They know that they're meant for more. They know they desire more. What is one easy tip or quick win you'd recommend for someone who is looking to be the fullest version of themselves, own their full power and energy? And what's something that would be a longer term practice? Because some things we know, even though nobody wants to hear this, everybody wants the microwave solution.
Yeah.
But some things
Yeah.
have to marinate, simmer, and then go low and slow.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, in the crock pot. So, what what's a microwave tip and what's a crock pot? It could practice for people.
Whew. So, this question is difficult for me because I'm so very married to the idea that everybody's individual and their paths are different, and
Yes.
and what works for them is works for them. But I will say this, it's something that you said, the ability to listen, the ability to quiet the soul,
Mm,
even if it's just for 10 seconds, to quiet the soul for 10 seconds, whether that's in your meditation prayer corner, or it's outside on the grass, or it's in your car, or it's in the bathroom. Like, take the 10 seconds and quiet your soul. I teach my clients to drop themselves right in the solar plexus, which is the place right beneath them. So this is heart, right? And then upper abdomen, hold on, upper abdomen right here is solar plexus. This is the I
mhm,
am center, right? And just
mhm.
really, if you just even if you set the timer for 10 seconds and just breathe in and drop your awareness right into solar plexus and just come out of the mental space, come out of the mental body. And yeah, you might find yourself questioning. You might find yourself saying, "This is stupid." You might find yourself saying,
Right.
"What am I doing?" You might find
Right.
yourself saying, all the things. And honoring yourself for still doing it. And honoring
Yes.
yourself for saying, "I took 10 seconds. I did this for 10 seconds," right? And if you're like, "Okay, increase to 15, increase to 20 seconds." If you're like, "LaToya, I can do a minute." Okay, do a minute, right? And don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to meditate. Don't force yourself to om. Don't force yourself to, you know, just listen just for a moment, even if it's for your own
Mhm.
thoughts. Listen and observe. You'll get better and better and better and better and better. You'll start hearing your higher self. You'll start hearing
Yes.
source, divine, God, however you identify. You will start hearing the next steps. You will start collapsing time. It will become microwave because you will hear something and you'll be like, "Oh, I should do that." Then the next step, of course, I'm going to drop this. Now I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next step is do it and don't question.
That part.
That part.
Yes.
Do it
Yes.
and don't question.
Yes.
Even if you ooh, and this was a growth point for me, still is in some ways. Even if you do it and it quote unquote fails,
Yes. Ooh-wee. Ooh.
don't question, because here's the thing, you as an infinite soul, you as an in your own infinite potentiality, You know, but you don't know. And so higher self has said, go ahead and make that post. You went ahead and you made that post. Two people liked, nobody commented, and you're like, well, that was a damn failure. What higher self tell me to do that for? Right? But you don't know that you reached someone who may come back 5 months later and may come back and do the things with you or introduce you to somewhere else. Like what you did was you followed your instinct, you followed your intuition, you followed your higher self or source, and you created a path. You created infinite doors. You created universal laws shifted on your behalf. And if I could see your chart, I will show you where the ninth house will then activate it and come into play for you, right?
Yes.
And
Ugh.
so that's the thing is the trusting. And I know that's the longer term, right? That's not
That's
the
a longer
microwavable. The
term.
microwave is like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, silence, listen, hear what comes in. And then do the thing and it's a practice. Do the thing
Absolutely.
and trust yourself and not question yourself based on the expected outcomes.
Yes. So much goodness in that answer and just the do the thing. If I can encourage just by echoing that statement, LaToya, because we second guess ourselves so much. We are all day, every day getting intuition, getting
Yes.
signs from the divine. It is coming, and we more often than not are second guessing, or I can't do that, or that doesn't sound logical. Well, of course it doesn't sound logical because it's not coming from your logical mind. Like your logical
Right.
mind. And why? Like, it's funny to me. Our logical mind sends us in a circle. We are in a perpetual loop due to our logical mind. And then when we have the escape hatch of our heart, our soul, we want to question. But that's an aside. When you do,
Well, because let me drop this real quick. Because we have been taught to trust others above ourselves, and that
yes.
comes from several
Woo!
different religions, denominations, and
Yes.
books. Right? Trust others, esteem others, prefer others over
Mm.
self. And so, when you have been so indoctrinated in that, you have
Mm.
trusted their box, their formula, their
Yes.
solution, their strategy, their
Whew.
logic over your direct access.
Mm.
Right?
Say that.
To
Mm.
higher self, source divine. And so, not to throw shade, you're doing
Yeah.
what you have been indoctrinated and trained and
Ah,
conditioned to do.
so
And
well.
now we get to undo so
We've been
too
doing
well.
yes. It's yeah, I think of my parents, are still ushers. They used to be ushers, but I just heard in my mind, like, "We are soldiers." And it feels
Yeah.
we are so trained, so indoctrinated to be
Yeah.
soldiers to our mind and external advice, external knowledge, external approval, whatever the case may be, when you can
Yeah.
finally learn to trust, and it does take practice. And so I have countless examples, that I either write about in my book or I share in this podcast, but even in meeting you, the whole channeling thing, that was something that you helped me to see that is part of what I am designed to do. That's part of what I'm here for. And I was planning to do it, but that was, I think, the last nudge that I needed. And so I've since been releasing some of these channeled messages, and the first 3, to your point, like a post that like maybe one person sees and you're like, why am I even doing this? But I just
Yeah.
kept going, and I just released my 4th one over the weekend. And when I tell you, because I kept listening to my spirit to just do it, I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. I didn't know if anybody was going to listen. I didn't know if people would think I was crazy. But this last article that I released, I've been getting so much feedback
Mm.
that people like this was the message they needed to hear. And someone even said that they had prayed for an answer before they went to bed, woke up and saw my article. And
Boom.
that brought tears to my eyes because that's all
Mm.
I ever wanna be is, a vessel for people to find themselves, or just if I can help be a source of knowledge, inspiration, wisdom, whatever the case may be, I want to be of service to the collective. And so that lit up all my Venus centers. And all the Venus in my chart lit up.
I'm
So
so glad you said that, because what the phrase that came to my mind just now is that it, yeah, there is a part of us that says, like, that's all I ever want to be, right? Is that vessel, that conduit, that channel. But the truth is, the reason why you feel that is because by doing that, you are also serving your own soul.
mhm. Mhm.
Right? And so
Yeah.
of course all your centers and your Venus
Like
centers and all the things are going to light up. Of course, because
right.
that is what your soul came here for,
Yes.
itself. Right?
Mm,
For itself.
mm.
Which
I
brings
love
us
it.
full circle, if you allow me,
Yes!
please.
Please bring it home, girl. Land the plane.
Which brings us full circle to
Yeah.
this word magnetism.
Mm,
Right? The indoctrination also is that no, like serve, 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 serve. But understand that doing it in a way that lights you up, doing it in a way that you are designed, doing it in the way that fulfills you, doing it in a way that is juicy and yummy to your own self and is delicious to your soul.
mm,
This is also right. This is also righteous. This is also perfect and in its own divine right. Because when you are in that space, you are in alignment.
mm,
And you can't help but vibrate that light. And therefore, you can't help but to magnetize those who are soul coded to hear, to pray, and then wake up to the answer. You can't
mm,
help it because it is universal law.
mm.
And this is moving in energy mastery. And I
Ooh,
love it so
I okay.
much.
Wow. That was truly a full circle. I could talk to you all day. I could literally you bring me so much joy. Um,
Oh,
but for the sake of, I guess, time,
yeah.
there-
Fine.
I guess, since we're playing in this construct of time, um, two final questions for you. Second to last question. If you were preparing a roadmap for your younger self to
Mm.
arrive at the state of bliss that you have now, what directions would you give her or mile markers would you want her to hit along the way?
This is interesting. I would actually tell her to not look for mile markers.
Ooh, okay. Say more. I love this answer. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Mm. Because in the environment that we're in, it's looking for the mile markers that causes us to miss the present.
Mm, mm,
And and very often, honestly, to not appreciate the gold that's happening right now. And sometimes to not appreciate, mm, we've been given so many mile markers that we're looking for the acceptable ones and not the ones that were actually designed for our own souls.
ooh. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
powerful. That's
so
powerful.
I would tell her, girl, laugh. I would tell her, laugh, 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 have fun. Don't let anybody tell you the formula. Go for your soul's joy. Don't
Mm.
believe them. That's what I would say. I would say, don't believe them. Don't believe them.
Ah,
Mm-mm.
mm,
Don't believe them. That's
just
what I would tell her.
beautiful
Laugh,
wisdom.
dance, and
Mm.
don't believe not a word they say.
I love it. That should be a T-shirt or
Right?
Or
I'm gonna write
someone's
that down.
epitaph. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I love that. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I am confident that after people dig into this conversation, they are going to want to find you, stay connected with you. They're going to want to work with you either in energy mastery or Vedic astrology, hopefully both. Hopefully y'all get the whole package. Uh, get the premium package. So
Come on
right? Like, and I don't like those who know me, I am genuine when I give a recommendation, like I am
in.
genuine and I would never recommend anyone or anything that I don't personally believe in and haven't experienced. And I have experienced you, LaToya, and
Mm.
you're a gift. So how can people find and stay connected with you?
Yeah. My name is LaToya Zavala. And my website is latoyazavala.com. But I love DMs. So in Messenger, LinkedIn, DM me, voice note. You know that.
Yes, yeah, we
I
have a good voice note chain going.
we do. I love that. I love the personal connection. So just DM me wherever you are. Messenger. I'm not on Instagram. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Messenger or LinkedIn. DM me, message me, and let's just chat. Let's just have a conversation. We start there.
Mm, I love
Yeah.
that. I love and I believe you
Mhm.
have, I don't know if it's closed, but you have a program coming up too, if I'm not mistaken. So not
I
sure if you want to
do.
plug that or if where it's full. Y'all may have missed it.
Well, so I don't know when this is gonna
I
air,
know.
but
True. It's gonna air probably at least a month after. So good point.
right. This summer, I'm running something new, and this might be the first time I'm saying it publicly. Um, yeah, and I'm running the summer solstice sprint. So,
Ooh.
yeah, and it's a one-on-one for 1 month. And it's a sprint. So, it's like a VIP 1 month. We'll work together. We'll align you to your chart. We'll align you to your soul path. We'll align your energy centers, your energy bodies. We will do energy work together. We'll design energy practices for you, but we're holding space for a particular manifestation or goal that you have, and we're going to accelerate that together. And I will
Ooh,
walk
I
with
like
you every step of the way daily. So I want to help us really embrace this summer solstice energy, this solar plexus peak energy where we can be at
ooh.
the peak of our fire. So yeah, we're going to find the fire in your chart. We're going to find the fire in your energy bodies. And we're going to align that to the goal or the manifestation that you're wanting to work on. And we will accelerate that together in VIP one-to-one style. So that's
Mm,
summer solstice sprint. I'm running that throughout the summer. So if you hear this and you're like, yes, just DM me and we'll get you on board.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have a production schedule. Like I'm a one woman show as of right now. So I can't say for certain when this is coming out because I manage my energy well. When I need to rest, I rest. Okay.
Well, that's that goddess energy right there.
Hello.
Hello.
But I will do my best to get this out while it's still summer so that people
Yeah.
can take advantage of this beautiful offer. So amazing. Thank you so much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I am always honored to be in the presence of other humans who are here, who are alive and awake and sharing their gifts with the world. So thank you for sharing your gifts with me and the audience.
It's been such a pleasure. It's been such an honor. First of all, it's always an honor to hold conversation in space with you. I just love your energy. And so, yeah, everybody, sending you so much love, so much light, so much power. It's been an honor. Thank you for this space.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.